Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning into my channel. Today I am sharing the recipe of beef Bihari Boti or Bihari Kebab with homemade Garam Masala. It's a super quick and easy recipe and I have a lot of tips in the video for you guys to choose the right cut of meat, from how to cut it to how to marinate it. And since I'm not an expert on cooking with beef, this is a recipe of my dear friend Fatma of Pots and Curries. I'm going to link her Instagram page below for you guys to have a look. So let's get started with the recipe, but before that, please do consider subscribing to my channel and giving this video a big thumbs up. So making garam masala at home is actually easier than you may think. All you need is a bunch of spices. You dry roast them, let them cool down, and then you grind them. I am making this one specifically for the Bihari Boti. That's why you see the poppy seeds in there. But if you're making it generally, just skip the poppy seeds and add that later into the marinade. So once everything is roasted on medium-low flame, put it aside, let it cool down. You don't want to burn the spices. You just want them to become aromatic. So then just grind it and keep it aside. That is done. So coming towards the cut of the meat, you need a piece from the undercut of the animal. If you're living abroad, you can go to the butcher and ask for steak pieces. Ask them to give you the best boneless pieces of steak and cut them as thinly as possible against the grain. Cutting the meat against the grain is extremely important for making Bihari Botis because otherwise it's going to be chewy and not have the texture that you want it to have. So the cut of the meat and the way it's sliced plays an important part when you're making this recipe because half of it depends solely on that. So coming towards the marination now, it's yogurt based marination. So I have about half a cup of yogurt here. You can use any yogurt that you have. To that I'm adding about 3 to 4 tablespoons of mustard oil, and if you want you can also fry your onions in mustard oil. It has a very dominant flavor when you're making Bihari Botis. Then I'm adding a tablespoon of lemon juice followed by 1.5 teaspoon of ginger paste, 1 teaspoon of salt or to taste salt, 1 teaspoon of red chili powder or more if you like it spicy, 1.5 teaspoon of poppy seeds, 2 teaspoons of garam masala, and 2 to 3 tablespoons of raw papaya, or you can also use a raw kiwi paste. I also asked Fatma if you don't have papaya, what can you replace it with, and she mentioned you can take any kiwi and blend it with the peels and then use that instead of the papaya, and that's what I did and I think it worked really great. So that's another little tip for you guys. And now all you have to do is marinate your meat with the prepared yogurt marination and the papaya or kiwi paste, and I decided to give it smoke from a coal, which is optional. If you're gonna grill it on a barbecue, you don't have to do it, and the more it marinates the better it's gonna taste. So I tend to give it at least 24 hours. Otherwise it won't taste your beef. It won't have all of those flavors that you just try to incorporate in it. So Bihari kebab are always threaded in sort of this zigzag or S pattern on a skewer. I'm using bamboo skewers which can easily burn. So to avoid that, what you can do is you can let them soak in water until they become a little plump, and this is gonna help you avoid any burns, especially on a grill or on a pan. So for me, I'm gonna be cooking them on a pan, but before that I'm gonna thread all of my pieces just like I showed you. This is also very important when you're making your Bihari kebab. The threading is another important step. So once everything is prepared, you can light up your grill, or for a pan, I'm using a grill pan and the heat is about medium. These are gonna cook very fast because the meat is very thin, and we also used papaya or kiwi to tenderize it, so this shouldn't take long to cook. All you want is for them to brown up, and if you're cooking them on a pan, for them to not have a lot of liquid around it. So once they start getting dry, the masala, it will start sticking to the kebab. That's when you know that it is done. And try to avoid flipping it too much because they are so tender you can actually break them. So once I start seeing them shrink a little bit, change their color, that's when I flip, and you can see this is my first flip and it's pretty much cooked from that side. So flip them once or twice, not more. Halfway through I take a piece I pull it apart and I see if it's done, which it is. And you can see that I don't even have to apply any force. The meat, it literally breaks on its own, which means it is super juicy and super succulent, and it's gonna be great. And from now on, I just turned up the heat, and I'm gonna let the masala dry and clump up to the Bihari kebab itself. And you can serve it with a paratha or a naan or with anything really. It's so good on its own. So thank you once again, Fatma, for sharing all the wonderful tips and this wonderful recipe with me. Again, everyone, her Instagram page is in the description box below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and this recipe. If you recreate it, please do share it on Instagram with me and with Fatma. Until next time, the Homemaker Baker over and out.